Okay, class, in this lesson, I'm going to show you how to write a two-step equation from word problems. So the best way to do this is to start with some examples. Okay, so let's take a look at one example. Let's suppose Zach has 6 shirts. This is 4 less than twice the number of shirts N that Xavier has. Translate the sentence into an equation. Okay, so we know that Zach has 6 shirts, and therefore we're going to write 6 on one side of the equation. Okay, this is the start of the next sentence. Okay, so that tells me that is equal to. Okay, now we have an expression here: 4 less than twice the number of shirts N. Okay, 4 less than twice the number of shirts N. So it's going to be 4 less than twice the number of shirts N, 2N. Okay? So let's review this. Zach has 6 shirts. That is 4 less than, minus 4, twice the number of shirts N that Xavier has. So this is Zach, and Xavier has N shirts. Okay? Let's try another equation, or another example. So in this example, it says 8 more than the quotient of a number y and negative 3 is negative 24. Okay? 8 more than the quotient of a number y and negative 3 is 24. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to focus on the quotient of a number y and negative 3. Okay, that's the most complicated one. Quotient means it's a division or a ratio, okay, of a number y and negative 3. So this becomes y over negative 3. Okay, this is the quotient of y and negative 3. Okay, then we have this one, this first item, 8 more than. So it's going to be 8 more than this, which means that it's going to be 8 more than, okay, and then is negative 24. So we got 8 more than the quotient of a number y and negative 3. We've got those two components. Is, that's my key word. That means it's going to be equal to 24. Okay, so let's review this. 8 more than the quotient of a number y and negative 3 is 24. Okay, and let's do one more example. Okay, so let's take a look at this one. Jeremy has 13 baseball cards, which is 7 more than 1/5 the number M Michael has. Okay, so let's translate the sentence into an equation. So the first thing we have is Jeremy has 13 baseball cards. Okay, great. So we get 13. Then the next key word is which is. Okay, whenever you see the word is, that means equal. Which is 7 more than, okay, so it's going to be 7 more than 1/5 the number M. 1/5 the number M. And the number M is what Michael has. Okay, so let's review this. Jeremy has 13 baseball cards, which is 7 more than 1/5 the number M Michael has. Okay? Hopefully this makes more sense to you. Now we're going to take this up another level. Okay, and we're going to use it in a word problem. Okay, so let's read through this problem. Juan's father was 29 years old when Juan was born. this year, the sum of their ages is 53. Find their ages. Okay, so how do we do this? The first thing we need to do is to let, and I'm going to write this in, let x equals Juan's age. Okay, what this means then is x plus 29 is Juan's father's age. Okay, so let's review. We said that x is Juan's age, okay, because we don't know what his age is, but we do know Juan's father's age. 29 years older. 29 years older than 29 years old when Juan was born, which means he's 29 years older already to begin with, and will continue to be 29 years older. Okay, so that's why we have x plus 29, because this is Juan's age, and Juan's dad is 29 years older. Okay, so now it says this year the sum of their ages is 53. Okay, so let's write those together. Juan's age is x. Okay, and we're doing a sum. Juan's father's age is x plus 29. Okay, and we know that their sum of their ages is 53. Okay, because it tells us that. Now that you've got this set up, we can solve for x. Okay, so first thing we need to do is combine these two terms. Okay, and we get 2x plus 29 is equal to 53. Then what we need to do is start our two-step equation. Okay, and we're going to move the 29 over to the other side, which means we need to subtract 29 from both sides. What we get is 2x is equal to 24. Okay, so that's our step one right here. Step one. Then we need to divide both sides by 2 to isolate the x, and we get x is equal to 12. Okay, so this is step 2 right here. Step 2. Now once you get to x and you solve for it, don't get too excited and say, okay, that's my answer. What we need to do is we have to go back to the problem, make sure we're answering the question. And the question, or the statement in this case, is find their age, their ages. Okay, so we know that Juan's age, we said x is Juan's age, so we can write that Juan is 12 years old, and Juan's father is 12 plus 29. Okay, so Juan's father is, and 12 plus 29 is 41. 41 years old. Okay, let me just write here 12 plus 29. Okay, so this becomes our answer. Okay, let's do one more example. Okay, so let's read through this one. Logan collected pledges for the charity walkathon. He will receive total contributions of $68.50 plus $21.75 for every mile that he walks. How many miles will he need to walk to raise $370? So the first thing to do is to identify a variable here, and that is the miles that he needs to walk, right? Because that's what's going to change in this equation. Okay, so we're going to let m equal miles walked. Or I should say walks. Okay, so let's take a look at the word problem. He's going to receive a total contribution of $68.50. Just for doing the walk, he's going to receive that much money. Okay, so we get $68.50 plus, okay, he's also going to get this much for every mile that he walks. So that's going to be plus 2175 M for miles. Okay, so that's the multiplier. Every mile he walks, he's going to get 2175. So if he walks 1 mile, it's 2175. If he walks 2 miles, it's going to be 2 times that. If he walks 3 miles, it'll be 3 times that. Okay. Now the question is, how many miles will he need to walk to raise $370? So the goal is to reach 370, and therefore this equation must equal 370. This way we can solve for M, or the number of miles he needs to walk. Once this problem is set up, now we can solve for M. Okay. Now, before we do that, let's just review to make sure that this equation is properly set up. So, if we read this part right here, he's going to receive a total contribution of $68.50. Okay, plus $21.75 for every mile that he walks. $21.75 times M for every mile he walks. And he needs to raise $370. So there's our 370 equals 370. Okay, so that looks right. So let's go ahead and solve for M. First step we need to do here is to move the 6850 over to this side of the equation. And to do that, we have to subtract both sides by 6850. Okay, so this time I'm going to write it out. I'm going to subtract 6850 on this side, and I'm going to subtract 6850. Okay, and when we do that, what we're left with is 2175 M is equal to, we're going to have a 50 here, 1 over here, 0 over here, and 3 over here. Okay, so we get $301.50 is equal to 21.75 M. So this is our step 1 right here. From here to here is our step 1. Okay, then the next step is to divide both sides by 2175 because we want to isolate M. We divide both sides by 21. I'm going to write this in blue. Divided by 2175, divided by 2175. Okay, what we get is M is equal to 13.86. Okay, I used the calculator to get that number, $301.50 divided by $21.75. So this becomes our step 2, from here to here. Okay. Step 2. Okay, so here's an interesting scenario. We find out that he needs to walk 13.86 miles. It's kind of odd because you usually don't walk a partial mile when you're raising funds. Okay, so when you get an answer like 13.86, you need to round it to the nearest whole number. Okay, so in other words, he's going to need to walk, M is equal to 14 miles. Okay, so this is how many miles he will need to walk to raise a total of $370. Okay, hopefully that made sense. If any of this did not make any sense, or if you just need a refresher, please go back to the recording and review this again. Thank you.